Morning YouTube. So in this video we'll be looking at the lessons I think I learned from my recent trip to Italy. So in this vlog it's going to be a nightmare trying to give you the insight, or certainly the atmosphere, as I was climbing the mountain in Italy on a recent break there, doing readings, workshops, demonstration, and I'm going to bring up the usual questions when I arrive in Italy, what they usually ask me, what the clients usually say, because Italy is one of those countries that are still heavily under the church, especially Catholicism. So we'll be looking at what the clients usually say there, with some B-roll, not a great deal of B-roll. I didn't have a camera with me. The Chris Howes of the world, the Peter McKinnons, the Casey Neistadts, they all on YouTube, they all say the best camera you have is the one that you have with you. And in this case I only had my phone, so sound quality is going to be quite bad on some of it. It'll be blown out all over the place, but hopefully you get a kind of idea of what it was. But it was what was going on in my mind that I actually want to discuss. So the mountain you're about to see is Mount Grigna. It's in northern Italy. It's part of the Italian Alps. It's at the summit. It's 2,410 meters. I expected it to be a little bit difficult, but nothing prepared me for what was about to happen. So here we go. So this first spinning shot is about an hour's walking already, to give you an idea of the landscape and the ecosystem that's going on. So about an hour and 3/4 in, around about that time frame, there was a little set of woods, and we saw like some eyes peering over something. We called it in the woods. So we took a walk over. I'll show you what we found. Random house about 2.5 hours in up the climb. It was abandoned. It looks a little bit Blair Witchy, so have a look. So then, those of you that are on my Facebook would have seen a live feed, and at this point I thought, I cannot go on. I cannot go on. My legs are blown. My mind, my breath, I wasn't confused, but it was just like every bit of me wanted to give up. I just didn't want to do anymore. My body was hurting. My brain, like 98% of my brain was saying stop. And just in the distance in my mind, there was a bit of me that just said no. I refuse to give up. And so that, I think you can see on the live feed that I did on Facebook. Now bear in mind I look an absolute mess and my hair's all over the place. It was 38 degrees. Well, let's have a watch. So I look an absolute mess, so it's tough. You just have to forget about that for a minute. So climbed up the Grigna. Not the end. We got to go higher, but I've got signal here, and then I've just climbed up from here. Hold on, let me show you. So that's cloud. You can't see that. Can't see how far we've come up, and then we've got the flags for the crest up here, but we're going more that way. Got to get up there. And then this is the view that I'm just being greeted with. I've never wanted to give up on something so much in my life as that journey up there. I cannot feel my legs at all. And I've got Kiara going, come on, one more pole, one more step. Come on, one more this, one more that. And every bit of my body wanted to give up, except that one little voice, whether it be mine or Kiara's, in my mind telling me to get on with it. So there's got to be a lesson in there somewhere, isn't there? So one more pan, you can have a look around, and then I've got to carry on. So maybe see you soon.
Can you show them exactly where you're going up
What?
there, because you see the building.
That building at the top there. Don't know if you can see that.
They will.
Will they? Can I zoom in? I can zoom in on this. Up there we've got to get to. So all good. One more pan round for you. Speak to you soon. So that little building that you saw in the live feed from Facebook was about another 30 to 40 minutes on, which was like that. And it was, again, even though I was at the crest of this mountain, you could see the clouds very much one side and the clear the other. It's where the two temperatures are drawing together. It was like a wall of cloud. And even then, I still wanted to give up. I was so disheartened. And I said in the live feed, I wonder what lessons I can take from this. And it gave me food for thought. It definitely gave me food for thought. But we'll look at that in a moment. So here's the summit. High now. Look at the ocean. So here we are, done. The view. There's that little building there that I was talking about. Lots of clouds this side. Cloud there as well. And the rest of the journey, where we had like wild horses, like a family of wild horses, and loads of different ecosystems getting up to the to the summit. So that will all be in the vlog, because I didn't bring a camera. I've got my phone obviously, so I will edit that and make that a little bit pretty polished, the best I can from the video that I have on the phone now. So I need to go and get sugar. I've got a banging headache now. I've got no energy. So just a little bit of clarity of mind now, really. So a quick rest, and then we'll wave. We'll say thank you to the spirit world and thank you to the mountain, and then we'll make our way down. Insane. Speak soon. So that was us at the summit. Really, really hard. I just wanted to give up. I wanted a helicopter down, to be honest with you. It took me something like 6 hours to get up there because of the route that we took. We took a difficult route. And then we had to walk back down. So the first thought in my mind was like, I'm only halfway. And the state of mind, I think you can see in the video where I'm not right. I was complaining of a headache. I was lacking energy. And I didn't know what to do, whether it was altitude or whether I needed sugar. I don't know. I got a sugary cake and I got some Coca-Cola, and I took it all on board, but I knew that I had to then reverse the braking system in the legs, so it wouldn't be all in the calves and the thighs. It would now be on the knees, like applying brakes. Going down the mountain. But then we had a little bit of a funny episode, so I'll let you see that in a moment.
When you're down and you stare out your window, hoping that you'll come up with some words to say. That's not okay. When you feel like you're fed up with heartbreak, and you know that you can't take another day, well, that's not okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can never go back this road. We can never go back that way. I see you standing in the corner like it's okay. Don't you know that you move with your body? Don't you know that you move with your body? We can never go back this road. We can never go back that way. I see you standing in the corner like it's okay. Don't you know that you move with your body? Don't you know that you move with your body? When you're moving your feet on the dance floor, and you don't care a thing about a word they
So Mum has rejected her child. There was a dead lamb beside her, and she's rejecting this one, keeps attacking it. So Kiara knows the man at the bottom of the hill, and they will have to bottle feed this one. She's got one on her shoulders as we descend down this mountain. Sorry for the shaky footage, but there you go. This is mental. So we get to the bottom of the hill, and the shepherd was there. We found loads and loads of sheep. So we walked down, and I didn't bother recording it because it was all in Italian. They were having a huge conversation, and it just wouldn't have made sense to anyone. So I just thought I'd ask afterwards, and then I can just say it on the camera and then put it on there. And so what had happened was that there's water where we were there. There's like little pools of water. On the side of the mountain there isn't pools of water. So this is like a kind of a little bit of a flat zone there. And the shepherd said, yeah, we left Mum up there because she was due to have a baby. But unfortunately, I didn't want to put that on screen, but the baby had died. And in that big cave system that you could see, that big fascia there was huge openings, and what they do is they go in and they can go in and out to the water. But on top of that, there are huge birds of prey. I'm talking like monster eagles. They're probably more like dragons, I would imagine. But they, at the bottom of the hill, they steal the lambs, they fly up and they drop them down to where the water is, because there's a lot of like dangerous rocks there, and usually they hit the rock, they die, then the eagles and the other birds of prey can come in and they can feast. But somehow this little lamb hadn't died. So when we got to the bottom of the hill and we met with the shepherd, he said, "Oh, thanks for bringing that back. It was taken yesterday by the eagle, and we don't know where we didn't know where he had dropped it. We had found it. Kiara flung it over her shoulder, around her neck, as you saw, and walked it down. And he said, "Oh, the mum's over there." So we introduced the lamb back to the mum, and we continued with our walk. It was just something I wanted to share with you, because to me it was just mind blowing. I'm a guy from Harlow. I'm not used to walking mountains, and here Kiara is arguing with a sheep, telling her to look after the baby. If you don't look after it, I'm taking it. And it now makes sense why the mother was rejecting it, because it wasn't the mum. The mum was at the bottom of the hill, and it was this wonderful reunion as such. So good deed done there. So as a summary, what did I take from the trip was realising how much fight there is in that mind when all else is giving up, when the brain and the body are telling you no. That little defiant piece inside is the one that makes me continue and makes me push on and push my own boundaries. There was a comment on my Facebook from a PT instructor, my good friend Ricky, and he was very defiant in the comment. Everyone was like, "Oh, good luck," or "well done," and he was like, "You do what you have to do. You crawl if you have to get to that summit. You crawl if need be." And that's the kind of thing that goes on in my mind. And I don't think any classroom can teach that. I don't think there's any kind of tuition that can go with that. You've either got it in there and you nurture it, or you give up. And I weren't giving up. And so we can take that from our lessons, especially in our development. It's something that I see so often during the classrooms or the residentials. People just get frustrated, they just want to give up, they just want to walk away, throw a hissy fit, or feel completely deflated. And it's okay to feel those emotions, that's normal. It's what you do with those emotions that are going to make or break you. So that really needs to be looked at within self. I don't recommend climbing one of the largest mountains in the Alps to work that out, but it certainly highlighted it for me. Other questions that were arised while in Italy, the same one resounded time and time again, was are they disturbed? Are you waking them up? Do they have time to come and see me as a loved one? And it amazes me still that in 2018 that we have this viewpoint, this vision that they're busy doing other things. I will go into other videos how to try and explain that in a much simpler way so people understand. But it's the human aspect that we give off. It's human evidence that we have to give, but the understanding how the spirit world is, it's a state of energy, a state of consciousness, and if I can get that out there, maybe we could all be a little bit more accepting of the idea of a communication with the spirit world and the loved ones that we have lost. So I'll sign off for this one for now, and I will see you all on Wednesday, providing I get something recorded. I've done all my batch. My diary has been ridiculously busy, which is a good thing, in amongst the move, so on and so forth. You don't want to hear the story really. So I will get back in order once the studio's up and running. The recordings will be much quicker and easier. So for now, look after yourself. Any questions, obviously leave it in the comment box. If you like the video, give it that thumbs up because it does help the channel. Share it if you like, and I'll see you all on Wednesday.
Hanging on the beach, catch the tide. Those will always be the best days of my life.